Can I just say one thing firstly? I love the name Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat.
This video is sponsored by sharpbetting.co.uk, the home of betting tips and analysis. Please click the link in the description to find out more.
Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted as always to be joined by Andrew and Chris, Boxing Pros UK. Chaps, good to be joined by you once again. We are here to preview the big rematch, the big fight undisputed light heavyweight Artur Dmitry Bivol, February 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Hope you're as excited for it as I am, gents. Just want to touch on what might be next, really. Beterbiev just turned 40 years old, undefeated, obviously won the last fight. Do you think this will be his final fight? I'll let you kind of go down the route of if he wins, this happens. If he loses, this happens. We don't want to give our predictions away too early. Andrew, I'll go to you first. Do you think this will be Artur Beterbiev's final fight?
I mean, if he wins it, which actually I think he might do, there are some options out there for him. You know, I've seen a lot of kind of stuff out there that would he maybe kind of go and fight Usyk after this, back down or up at cruiserweight, should I say, and Usyk coming down from heavyweight. I don't know if that's a possibility. It's one of those at 40. Normally, Elliot, guys, you think, well, how much has he got left? But this guy's a machine. He still looks in great shape. I know he has had his injury troubles, but he always seems to delay fights if he needs to make sure he comes in 100%. I've no doubt he's probably got a couple of years left, few years left if he wants it. But I think ultimately, if he wins this, I mean, what more does he have to prove? If he loses, that's a whole different story and a different argument. But if we're just leading at the moment with if he wins, I mean, just retire. I would say you've done everything, unless he wants that another big payday. That's up to him. I suspect he might if he wins, Elliot, as well. So that's my current take.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I would like to think if he wins and he fights on, it's going to be super fights only. Whether that's the possibility of a Usyk fight, Opataya, we'll have to see. But yeah, it's really exciting times, and I feel like for someone who's just turned 40, for them to have such an exciting period of their career around them. Usually people are clearly past their best at that age, aren't they? Let alone still fighting. Chris, give us your opinion. What do you think this is the last time we'll see Beterbiev in the ring?
Yeah, I believe so. Because if you look at it, he fights once a year. He always fights once a year for about 4 or 5 years. so he's always in tip-top shape, and he gives everything in that one fight. And if he wins, like Andrew said before, like he said, what's he got to prove? He's the one who unified the division before he became undisputed. He's the one who's knocked out every opponent except for Bivol. So I can't see him moving up to cruiser. There's just nothing left for him to do. I know you shouldn't say, they should get in the ring, but he would knock out bloody Buatsi, any of the light heavyweights. He's just like about 4 levels above them. Like, none of them has got a chance, in my opinion. If he fought any of them next, he's just going to be putting wear and tear on his body for no reason, because he's fighting people that ain't even got a prayer, really. So he just should retire. And if he loses, then he's lost. It's 1-1, maybe do a trilogy. If he loses, maybe do a trilogy. If he's not going to do a trilogy with Bivol, retire and don't fight no one else.
I'll follow up with you, Chris. If the fight that I feel like Beterbiev has spoken about and has gone towards is a fight with Opataya, it looks like Beterbiev struggles a bit more and more to make the light heavyweight limit. And it looks like, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I just think when you look at like the Usyk fight, the Opataya fight, there's obviously the possibility of Canelo moving up to light heavyweight. You never know. He's moved up to light heavyweight before. For the Opataya fight, how much of a chance would you give Beterbiev? First fight at cruiserweight, fighting the best cruiserweight in the world. How much of a chance would you give Beterbiev to beat Opataya?
zero, a big fat zero, because you need to acclimatise to the weight, man. You can't he's never even flirted with a different weight. Check his whole career. He's never like amateurs, yeah, but he's not even flirted. He's not even had any fights at that weight. He might be knocking out heavyweights because he's a beast in sparring, but he's never bloody flirted with a different weight. And I just think, and where you're only fighting once a year, you're always getting injured. And he's going to be like, what would he be by the time that fight actually happened? He'd be like 41, nearly 42. So I give him zero chance. And let's not end up like Kovalev, eh? Just fat, like a fat as shit fighting, embarrassing himself. Let's just keep some dignity, please, somebody.
And Andrew, do you agree with Chris? 0% chance of beating Opetaia. What are your thoughts?
I would love to disagree, just to play devil's advocate, because I quite enjoy that role sometimes. But, integrity, got to be honest. Look, if this was 10 years ago and a couple of warm-up fights as well, as he said, as Chris said, they're acclimatising to the weight. Father Time's undefeated, to use that cliche. He is 40 now. He has had his injury problems. I don't question his ability and his confidence going into that against a potential with Opetaia. But I just think Opetaia's too fresh, too big for that weight. I mean, Opetaia's probably going to go up to heavyweight, maybe. It would be a fantastic fight to watch, wouldn't it? It would be a fantastic fight to watch. Two power punchers in there. But I just couldn't see. I couldn't see a way in which Opetaia doesn't win that. I just think he'll be too big, too strong at that weight. Yeah. Which is mad to say. Man, don't go against BETERBIEV too much, do you, kind of in general, ever. But I think that would be one step too much, and at 40 as well. So, yeah, I agree.
Fantastic. All right, chaps. Good to get your opinions there. Of course, look, he's got to get past Bivol for a second time. Final question / predictions from me. I want to know who you thought won the first fight, because it was very controversial. We all saw the meltdown that Eddie Hearn had back in October. I don't know if you were there, you were joining him or not. But BETERBIEV did win the fight. It was a unanimous decision. Andrew, I'll go back to you. Who do you think won the first fight, and what's your prediction for the second fight?
Yeah, listen, it would be easy for me to go, because I obviously made that bold prediction on Bivol. Obviously, I was on here with you on your great channel, made that prediction and sort of put my neck on the line a little bit. And it turns out a lot of people fancied him. A lot of people seem to think he win it after as well, which I know when Chris comes back in, he gets quite impassioned about. So he might have a little rant. But look, I've got to be completely truthful. I had BETERBIEV by at least 2 rounds in that fight. I think he was more the aggressor. He was trying to close Bivol down. I think Bivol struggled kind of later on, and BETERBIEV was trying to make things happen. Although I do think it was a good, commendable performance from Bivol. In the second fight, do I kind of go with Bivol again? Adjustments? What adjustments is he going to make? I fancy BETERBIEV, I think, this time out to get the job done. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that, Elliot.
Yeah, look, it's a tough one, isn't it? I do apologise. It's not easy to predict these fights because of how close the first fight was and the fact that a lot of people thought the other guy won. All right, 1-0 BETERBIEV. Chris, I feel like we're going to get something special here, so I'll hand things over to you.
Well, no, first fight, I had BETERBIEV winning by about 2-3 rounds, I think, and I watched it. I think I watched it 3 times. And every time I thought BETERBIEV won, but it was really close. We interviewed Dave Caldwell. He said he thought Bivol won.
Yeah, he did.
It's and he thought Bivol did all the, and I see what he was saying. Like Bivol did all the hard work, and then BETERBIEV would just snap his head back with a few shots at the end of the round and steal the round, because everyone just remembers Bivol's getting hurt when he's got his guard up. Even if when he had his guard up or hands down, he didn't